Well, let's do another one of our cart full of plant series. So this is cart full of larger Chinese elm, and I'll take them out of the cart and we'll work on them individually. This is one of the batch that we dug out earlier in the year, and you can see that it's taken off. So what I'm gonna do is to start to get the basic shape in place. You don't have to spend a lot of time, just make sure that you have in mind what it is you want to accomplish and then prune to that. Okay, this one here, we got this line, and going up that way. So all these become side branches. Just cut them off. Now this could be either a secondary trunk, or it could be a sacrifice or just in the way. I think I'm just gonna kind of keep this for now, and it might come off. So basically we want this line. So this part needs to fatten up. This part needs to fatten up, and then it'll get cut. So we're using this growth as a sacrifice branch. So this is being used as a sacrifice branch to fatten this area. And then somewhere down the line, it'll get cut, maybe even down here. I'll just cut it like that for now. But you want to let that grow vigorously so you could get some girth on it. You see that right here, there was a fairly good sized branch here. I had to cut that off. We want only this to get bigger. I think next year, probably spring, I'm going to cut across here, because see, when we were doing these, we didn't know where it was going to pop, so we just cut and wait. And now that it's popped here, we'll probably cut across like that. Well, I have a tough time remembering, so what I did was I marked it. So it goes from here, goes around like that, and then cut this off. I'm not sure whether it be a saw or we might use a carving tool to get that. But see, what happens is now you'll get a nice transition. So now we got this movement and taper. Actually, we might even make this one shorter. But we need to fatten this, so don't get too bogged down on something like this at this point. So this is less than a year, probably 8 or 9 months, and this is how far we have gotten. So I think year to 2 years from now, it's going to be a very decent material. Now looking at it, most likely this will get cut off too, but don't have to make all those decisions at this point. Okay. This is another Chinese elm that we dug out earlier in the year. I believe this was one of those big plump things, and then we split it. But anyway, this is what we have in 8, 9 months. Okay, so I'll go inside and thin some of it out and see what we're gonna do. Okay, this looks like a multi-trunk. And well, how do we proceed on? There's this one here, and then this one here, and actually, next year we might even end up cutting, so there's 2 distinct trees. This one here is just off of this, and then this is a rough cut, so we need to get that cut off, and then start to work on our apex. Well, this apex, it's kind of interesting. I think I'm going to have to cut across here and go up that way. Originally, I think I was trying to go that way, but this turns out to be a little bit better angle. And this branch here, actually, we don't need it anymore. A lot of times I keep these because I don't know what's going to happen, but it looks like it's just something that is not necessary. And then we go around here. This is going to go up this way. So next year we'll end up cutting here. But it has a ways to go. This one here is an option, may or may not stay. So, but if it's going to stay, probably cut here and the new apex go that way so that it doesn't jam into this. Okay, see what I did? I recut it. Now, most likely, our new apex is probably going to be here. But I need to have more growth, so I'm going to keep this fairly long. I'll just cut off a little bit. And by next year, this will have grown back that I could cut it to here or even here. Okay, so let's go ahead and take a look at this one here. Okay, from this angle, can you see that this might be able to be broken off? So just make this as one, right? And then this is another. So I'll probably wait till spring, see what's down in here, and make this a separate small tree. And then now we got this to work with, right? So how do we go about shaping this? Well, you know, when I did it, I just cut it off and waiting for something to grow. So this grew. And we got some little shoots on the side. And how this ended up, I'm not sure. But like I said, we could remove that. And what I'm thinking is something fairly drastic or dramatic. So I'm thinking, how about this? Now, we got this turn, really tight turn. Be very dramatic. Not many people approach material like that, but you know, when you have a lot of material, you go ahead and try something different. So next year, I'm thinking to remove that, recut or carve this so that it makes a nice turn, and then have a really tight turn, and then go up and do some really dramatic zigzags. Chinese elms tend to be able to do that. Not everything works like that, but Chinese elm definitely will. And these three are all the same mother plant, the shoots that came off, and we took it off that way. Okay, so this is a rough bark Chinese elm. So once again, you can see this line here. That's to let me remember what my plans were. So you can see that with that missing and that main line, the continuing main line getting bigger, you'll have a nice taper. And then, so I could cut it here, go this way, more traditional. But I am going for something dramatic by going down that way and then going up, or maybe even going down. Who knows? And that's the fun part of bonsai, is able to create something that is unique. Especially once you hit a certain plateau where you know all the basics. Let's try something different. It's been really weird. Today is middle of November, and it's finally starting to rain. It's been very dry and hot, and then it got very cold, and finally we are starting to get some rain. So anyway, I'm gonna put these out in the rain and in the cold because you know these elms, they react better when they get the cold, and then when they come back, they're more vigorous. So anyway, they're going to be not put back into where it was protected. Well, it had to be protected because they were sort of vulnerable to sun scorch and things like that because they were just dug out of the ground and there was not much root. Now there's plenty of roots and then it has basic shape, so I'll go ahead and get them into areas where you'll be exposed to the weather. Anyway, this is Hero saying goodbye. I'll see you again in another chapter real soon.